grains off, you're spinning around and around, and then you put it in a tower that's got different particle sizes of sand, different grains of sand. Starts out real fine to give you the first coating is a real fine sand, so it gives you a nice smooth surface. And then as you work your way up the chain for the sand, it goes to a coarser sand. So it goes to maybe, you might start out with a minus 120 sand, and you're going to end up putting a 1428 backup grain on that sand. And what it does is, after your first dip, first, second, third dips, they kind of air dry. But once you start putting on your final dips, they go into a special dryer. And so it dries this monocell out, so it's fairly, you get a percentage, so you got to get a certain percentage of water out. And then you de-wax the wax out of it, and then you fire it in a furnace at a couple thousand degrees, and it cinders out together, and you got a hard monocell ceramic casing that you can pour your high temperature metal in and get your airplane blade to fly your jet. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. That's interesting. That is very interesting. Well, I guess today they're using printing, right?
Well, you can use printing to make the mold or whatever you want to make, but you need to still make the shell to be able to pour your metal in it to create the part that you want.
Right. Oh, that was very interesting. I didn't know how they did that. But it sounds more complicated than a fondue.
Yeah, it's got a lot of technique to it because you have drier times, drier temperatures, different humidities in the cabinets between the dips, and different firing programs, to fire everything out. And there's a lot to it that's been established in the last 50, 60 years, but one of the plants that does it is just a couple miles down the road, and they're putting a big addition on right now to make the cores that go in the molds, the ceramic cores. So anyway, business is booming over there.
Actually, that's good. I like when business booms. All righty. Let me see if we got a couple more people in here, okay?
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, thanks for chewing the fat for a while there. That was good.
No, that was interesting for me too. Absolutely. And I love your Monday morning emails. So do we have any other check-ins to the hole in the walnut? Come on in. K5 RBI.
AA1IA.
K5 RBI. AA1IA. Do we have anybody else?
Kilo India 5, Tango Golf Papa.
Kilo India 5, TGC. How you doing, Sid? All right, let's go with you guys. Oh, this thing didn't work out. My centrifuge wasn't good enough. The pen's running out of ink again. K5 RBI, you first. Come on in, Rich. How you doing?
I'm good, Mel. How about yourself?
Doing good, man. Where'd you go?
I don't know. I couldn't hear you. You disappeared there.
Oh, I said I'm doing good.
Oh, okay. I couldn't hear you. Your voice went to nothing. Well, I'm doing okay. The Astros, I got glued to the Astros again. They were winning 4-0 going into the bottom of the ninth because their pitcher, Framber Valdez, had 0 hits. He was no-hitting the Texas Rangers, and the very last batter in the game, bottom of the ninth with 2 outs, the guy slams a home run. So killed the no-hitter, but the Astros still won 4-2, which was great, but it was a little bit of a disappointing kind of win, but it was a great game. 118.5 kilowatt hours on the electricity production today, and just an overall pretty good day there. Over.
Hey, that sounds good. That sounds very, very good. Well, I'm sorry, but you still won the game, but that's terrible here when he gets the 26 outs and on the 7th one hits a home run. That's, I don't know. What are you going to do? I guess that happens. Hitting a no-hitter is a pretty rare event, in baseball. I don't think they have one or two a year. Go ahead.
Yeah, Rod, that Framber Valdez pitched a no-hitter earlier this year, so he would have been the first Astro in Astros history to have 2 no-hitters in the same season. So that's too bad for him. But it was a good game. He pitched a great game. Yeah, I was listening to Tim there. That was a very interesting discussion. Reminded me of pouring plaster of Paris mold when I was a little Cub Scout or something, and that was always fun to do. And I almost got into doing silicone molds for doing fishing lures, but I didn't quite get to the end of that. I need to maybe revisit that one day. Over?
No, that's Roger. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you know, those are, I mean, I'm not much into that. I know my brother was. My brother was a dentist, and he'd have to take impressions, you know, of people's teeth, and then, you know, make them a ridge or something from, you know, having the mold right there. So you had to do it in plaster, and then, you know, you open your mouth and it sucks out on the mold, and then they put a plaster into it, and then they make it into a living sort of a deal. So, yeah, but I never did that. Anyway, that might have been fun.
Roger that. Anyway, go ahead and go pick up some more chickens. It sounds like a busy night, so I wanted to come in and say hello and see how things were going. K5 RBI.
Okay, well, the things didn't get here yet, so we'll wait.
I bet you'll get them by Friday.
I hope so. We'll see what happens with that. And, yeah, my son's going to be coming over here. And the reason he's coming here is because my granddaughter doesn't know yet, but my grandson loves these little cars that you buy, you know, that flip over and all that stuff. And he's got a collection of them that you wouldn't believe, because every time we go there, my wife brings him a couple of cars, these little cars, matchbook and then bigger ones. So they watch the show on TV where they go to a stadium or whatever, and they have these cars with the big wheels on them, the huge wheels. And they go up like a little embankment, and then they turn over and they do a flip, and they're going over on their sides, and they're like springy. So he's taking them to the real thing, because they have it over here. And he's coming across, and so we'll be babysitting with the baby girl. And they'll be going to see the cars, you know, run around. And boy, he's going to be excited with that. I don't know, I think they're coming Saturday.
Oh, that sounds like fun. I bet the little boy is going to really thoroughly enjoy that. That's got to be funny to watch. I bet you can get some good pictures from his expressions during the race. I bet that, or the event, rather. So, yeah, that's interesting. Well, good to hear you tonight, Mal. You're sounding great, as usual, and the band is cooperating pretty well tonight, so sounds like a good night for ham radio. K5 RBI.
K5 RBI, NC4. Oh, yeah, thank you, Rich. He sends us a couple of videos a week. And him doing funny things. And he's a funny little kid. He's got a sense of humor. He's like his dad. He's got a real good sense of humor. He knows what's funny, you know, what is it. And he'll act the part out, you know. he's really a good kid. Anyway, they're coming over, and thank you for asking about that. And 118.5, man. I think you're doing pretty damn good, buddy. Anyway, let's get it over to Mark. AA1. Hey, how are you?
C4L from AA1IA, doing good, man, doing good. I hope all is well with you and everybody. Very interesting topics tonight. Although I gotta admit, I almost fell asleep during the guns, but then it picked up. So then I kind of woke up after that. So yeah, and you didn't take check-ins till like 11 tonight, so. It was just nice to sit back and listen to the banter. I could hear everybody, including that weak station there. And that's good. How are you doing tonight now?
I'm doing fine. No, we took check-ins. I picked up Paul first, and then we had Paul and then Orville, and then they went to K3BLS, KD2BEN, and KE4NTG. And I called, and, you know, and I didn't, you know, harp on it, but I did call it. But in any event, I'm glad if you fell asleep and maybe you were comfortable and you were happy. There was a guy who was a dentist, and his name was Joel Stolzenberg, and he was a dentist. He's gone now. And he's